Hello, I'm THEi, and I'm going to present my dissertation, an exploratory study of female social status and its relation to Cheongsam development. Let's start with our introduction. The objective of this dissertation is to investigate the key design features and the value of Cheongsam. Second is to analyze the relationship between the development of Cheongsam designs and the female identity. Third is to discover the transition of woman status that is reflected by Cheongsam development. Here comes to the literature review part, and I'm going to introduce the traditional religion and influence for women's identity. There are two traditional religions in China, Confucianism and Taoism. They introduced the concept of propriety and nothingness, which encourage people to wear flats, strict, and minimal cutting to hide body shape. Personal identity was usually weakened and objectified. Any symbol that belongs to sex was ignored and unacceptable. Foot binding is another traditional concept which used to prevent unfaithfulness happen and to preserve female chastity. However, it limits female freedom. When it's outlawed, it represents the improvement of female status. The second part is social norms and women's status in China. Women restriction under the traditional concept was broken due to the introduction of Western ideas. The importation of Western religion thought encouraged people to liberate their body from restrained clothing. The idea of self-identity is introduced from 1920 because of the Hollywood film. Costume is the best tool to deliver the message, so film actors would then appear to fulfill the needs of the audience. They wear Cheongsam in various occasions to showcase their femininity. The establishment of Taiping Heavenly Kingdom gives initiation to the development of gender equality, while it is influenced by the Western religion. Wearing Cheongsam was one of the means to showcase women's determination. The establishment of self-identities of women in China is affected by the flourishing feminist movement in foreign countries after World War I, and is also linked to different movements. Women's organized political activity, suffrage, and candidate eligibility, and they choose Cheongsam as their clothing because there's no sex characteristics in this clothing. So the next part is methodology. The first stage is fact searching and observation. Both primary and secondary sources will be studied. Computer will be the tool for online database searching. Summarize the data which collect from the various sources and interpret the new idea of the historical event. So case study will be the best method. The second stage is data analysis, a comprehensive understanding of Cheongsam and the factors that influence Chinese female status will be drawn. To contextualize the case and effects of the development of female status and Cheongsam design. There are several research limitations, including personal privacy problems, copyright, information authentication, and pandemic of COVID-19. Here comes to findings and discussion. I have divided the Cheongsam development into three stages. The first stage is the personal concept spread at Cheongsam from pre-Qing dynasty to late Qing dynasty. Since the hierarchy system permits elders to manage juniors, the social environment constructs a fearful atmosphere. Women try to erase their personal identity by wearing costumes with flat, loose cutting, especially Cheongsam, in order to survive in this society. Women are treated as a property which belongs to a man or their clan, and adorned and expressing their presence is the method to survive. So Cheongsam acts as a restraint of freedom in order to erase any sexual characteristics. These are the Cheongsam characteristics in this stage. The second stage is a self-expressive design stage from late Qing dynasty to May 4th movement. In the Republic of China, women began to have freedom in education, work, and participating in political. So Cheongsam is chosen to express female determination. In May 4th movement, well-educated female students become the member of the main leader. However, Cheongsam would exaggerate the weaknesses of women. and arouse the desire for protection. So, Cheongsam is still a complicated costume. These are the Cheongsam characteristics in this stage. The first stage is the maturity at late 1920s to 1930s. Cheongsam was used to showcase the creativity and patriotism of women. Wearing Chinese traditional clothing is able to unite the whole country, resist the cultural offense from Western countries. Women have demonstrated their wisdom and creativity by innovating the new design of Cheongsam. It's also a practice of democracy. The influence of Confucianism has been written by the democracy and freedom. The idea comes from Western countries. The rapid extension of department store is the evidence. Women can choose the most suitable and favorable cheongsam to demonstrate their personality. Wearing cheongsam is also a means of plunder. Women try to showcase their body silhouette and exaggerate their androgynous charms. As a sexual temptation towards men, it arouses the desire for protection. The adoption of cheongsam means that women's wear have been changed from seductive to hierarchical principle. It also pushed women to achieve goals by depriving men. Here are the cheongsam characteristics in this stage. In conclusion, from studying, investigating, and analyzing the development of cheongsam design, it is clear to examine the enhancement of inner status. People can reflect through understanding the meaning of each incarnation in cheongsam design. It also gives inspiration for the fashion industry and designers to create costumes based on the humanness. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you.